Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Football Alumni of Michigan Virtual Tailgate, produced in partnership with the University of Michigan Alumni Association. My name is Bruce Motti, and I will host today's Virtual Tailgate, today only for the first half hour, but then we'll turn it over to Jason Cummings and Mike Martin. I've got to get back to do some work there. And for those who do not know me, I was the longtime PR man for the University of Michigan Athletic Department, and I'm very honored to host this series. Today, Michigan is playing Wisconsin, and it's kind of funny because Carl Grapentine just welcomed everybody to Michigan Stadium as the gates are supposedly now open. But there is, it's hard to see with the lights, but not very many people here. So today against Wisconsin, that game's going to start at 7:44. That's the actual game time. And today we're going to have a couple of former NFL players on our panel to talk about their time at the University of Michigan. They have all played or are currently playing in the NFL. So before we get to that, what I want to do is to introduce our top man at the Football Alumni of Michigan, Mike Martin, the president, to talk about the Football Association of Michigan, better known as FAM. Mike?
Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it. Make me feel warm and fuzzy inside. It's great to see everybody. On behalf of the Football Alumni of Michigan, FAM, I want to welcome everyone to our virtual tailgate. FAM is a nonprofit organization founded solely by Michigan football players, and our mission is to simply empower, engage, and unite the Michigan football alumni base. We believe that each era, coach and player is a critical part of that Michigan football tradition, and our goal is to amplify their success and reconnect them with their teammates. As students at Michigan, we all remember how close-knit our student body felt on game days. With these uncertain times, it's kind of made that tough, but we want to create a platform to connect us. We want to make sure that guys feel connected to our athletic department, the football administration, and our alumni network. Uniting all Michigan football alumni, no matter what phase they are in their life, is a priority. We're doing things like partnering with the Michigan Athletic Career Center, MAC, to help ensure degree completion for our current players, and have partnered to support the annual mentoring program that we do. Our teammate assistance program, TAP, that we're really excited about, was created to help former players lacking basic resources to navigate life. The TAP program has allowed us to provide medical, legal, dental, and financial support to members who need it most. Our FAM Matters virtual series provides tools to help us navigate the real life scenarios we're facing when our playing days are over. We have hosted sessions on stress management, estate planning, healthy community relationships with police, and CTE, to name a few. But today we are here for the FAM Virtual Tailgate Series, which is an opportunity for FAM members to connect with the largest and the best alumni base in the world, while displaying the strength, success, and diversity of Michigan football across all generations. Michigan alumni and fans have supported us since our playing days, and we want to make sure that you guys know how much you mean to us. So now that we're all alum, we want to continue to strengthen that bond and have some fun in the process. So again, welcome to our tailgate, and go blue.
Thanks, Mike. We also want to thank the groups that are helping us with the U of M Club of Dallas is helping out, Central Florida, Chicago, Cleveland, and Charlotte, North Carolina. And these are the Alumni Association clubs are very vital to helping out the entire University of Michigan, just not the athletic department. So now let's talk about our panel. First, I want to introduce Sean McEwen. Sean, of course, played in 2006 to 2019 as a tight end with the University of Michigan, was taken by the Dallas Cowboys as an undrafted free agent, and has made the NFL team as a rookie. McEwen attended high school at Shepherd High Regional High School and was the third best high school prospect in the state of Massachusetts that year. He arrived in Ann Arbor in 2016, and he was playing behind the fifth-round pick, Jake Butt. So Sean McEwen, Sean, let's take a look at the video and invite Sean to be on with us right now.
Here's in the shotgun now. Rolls right. Looks to throw back. He's got McEwen throw back. He can go. He's at the 10-5. Sean McEwen. Touchdown, Michigan.
Easy pitch and catch. Easy touchdown, Michigan. Sean McEwen.
Gets his step. Fake. Throws in the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan! Sean McCune! Actually, like flex tight end. Rolls right. Throws to McCune wide open at the 15. He's at the 5. Pounds his way down inside the 5. Flaps. Gets the ball. Looks to throw. It's McCune at the 10, the 5. Breaks the tackle to the 1. He's in. Touchdown, Michigan. Patterson in the gun. Haskins to his left. They give it to Patterson to throw. Throws. He's got his tight end. McCune wide open. He's into Ohio State territory. Inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line.
And Sean, welcome to the virtual tailgate. If we can get you to unmute your, there you go. Good to see you. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me on. Really
It's
appreciate it.
great to have you here. You know, I'm going to ask you a quick question from, we have some questions from the fans already that have been pre-submitted. And if any fan wants to submit questions, please feel free to do so. But since you have just been out for 1 year, what do you think, is there the biggest change? Is it a disappointment or is it better change going from the NFL, going to the NFL from college ball? What's the biggest difference that you see? What do you feel personally?
Yeah, it's definitely a big change. You know, it's definitely more run like a business in the NFL for sure. Just how you know, we run things and kind of doing things more on your own. You know, going to get your own treatment, going to get your own workouts in. You got to hire trainers and masseuses and everything like that. So, you know, it's definitely a great experience though. And, you know, it's always been my dream to play in the NFL. So, you know, definitely happy to be here and super excited.
That question was asked by Elliot Enton. And so the next person that we are going to introduce, also with the Dallas Cowboys, that's Jordan Lewis. He plays cornerback for the Cowboys. He played football at Michigan, and he was named first-team All-American and first-team All-Big Ten in 2015 and 16 before being drafted by Dallas in the 3rd round. This is Jordan's 4th season with the Cowboys, and Jordan, by the way, is a Detroiter and attended Cass Tech, coached by former Michigan football player and track star Thomas Wilcher. Jordan, let's take a look at a few of the videos of Jordan, and then we've got a couple questions for him.
They trail 7-0. It's early. Back to throw Luke Trolley. He's got pressure. Throws it. He's tackled. Loss on the play, and Michigan will get the ball. Back to throw. Hornibrook's got time. Throws the ball deep. And it is that intercepted? Holy cow, Jordan Lewis.
Hey, Jordan, welcome. Good to have you here. Hey, are you the first guy to make that one-handed interception? It seems like everybody's trying to follow you, doing the same thing all the time now.
I don't think I'm the first, but I feel like it was very significant, you know, to the Michigan family though. So I mean, it's a great moment, and I just appreciate, you know, everybody that appreciates it. So,
you know, I got to ask you before I ask you the question from one of the audience that has pre-submitted it. You following Cass Tech at all, man? There, you got another good football team.
They cruising, man. It looks good, but they about to play Belleville. So they were coached by I was coached by the head coach Belleville, Coach Crowell, and that's gonna be a good one. I'm excited to score that one.
It's going to be exciting. Well, you know, I got a question for you because it's been, you know, the Cowboys have had a tough time this year with the quarterback situation and going that way. Michigan, of course, has had one win. You know, got to bounce back tonight. When you're, you know, the question comes from Gregory Bond. When a team is having that type of a situation, what do you guys talk about in the locker room to try to build the team back up as players?
Just understand that it's only one way you can do that, and that's just hard work. You just get in the film study and go out on the practice field and practice and try your hardest to get things back on track. That's the only way you can do it. I mean, it's really not any magic formula. It's just really just going out there and putting in the work. And I feel like once you get that taste of success, Michigan has the players to do it, and I feel like the Dallas Cowboys have the players to do it to get out there and get the job done.
It's going to be interesting again tonight to see how we're going to go there. The next person we have, we're going back a ways here because Jordan and Sean, they're young guys. And this guy is a little bit older, and that's Ed Moransky, who was an All-American and an academic All-American athlete who played for Michigan during the 1979 to the 1981 seasons. Moransky went on to play with the Oakland Raiders in the NFL before pursuing business interests full time. Moransky was on the Super Bowl championship team with the Raiders. He is now chairman of the board and founder of Moransky Companies, a multifaceted business management company, and also founder, chairman, CEO, majority owner of the Surgical Hospital of Southwoods in Boardman, Ohio, an accredited state-of-the-art surgical hospital that serves 20,000 patients annually. He also serves as founder and chairman and CEO of the Chestnut Land Company, the holding company for Annie Ann's soft pretzel franchises throughout the United States, and has over 1,000 employees under his management. So, Ed, welcome. Let's take a look at some of the things from Ed. Don't worry, Ed, they're not in black and white. Don't worry.
I'll tell you, when he gets some room out there and he puts that afterburner on, look out.
31 yards on the play. First down, Wangler to Carter. Touchdown. 9 yards to go on second down. Lawrence Ricks on the draw. Good move. There's your first down. Smith maybe checking off. Gives to Woolfolk. Tries to sweep left. Butch slips some tacklers. Woolfolk on the run. There he goes. Woolfolk's going to go the distance. Smith runs the option. Pitches to Ricks. He's got it. Anthony Carter in motion. Sweeps back. Going to throw the ball. Throws it back to Smith, the quarterback. They got the 2. Nobody covered Steve Smith. To the right. Will UCLA put a rush on Smith? Here they come. He's going deep for Carter. That's all she wrote. All right.
Hey, Ed, welcome. And I was kidding everybody before, but what I have on today is the Michigan shirt and the jacket and the hat from the 1980 Rose Bowl team, 81 championship Rose Bowl team, and 80 Big Ten championship team that Ed was on. John Wangler, of course, provided these, our good friend John Wangler. And it's great to have you. And first question I want to ask is another one who submitted one, John Francis Manstead. He wants to know what academic class at U of M has had the most positive impact in your career. Is there one that you could really speak about, or even a professor that might be the strong point of what you learned in the classroom?
Yeah, Brucey, thank you, and appreciate you having me on. I would have to go back, and he's still alive and a friend of the university, Bill Colburn. Professor Bill Colburn was the head of the communications department. When I went to Michigan, I was in the pharmacy school, so I was doing all the pre-med and the biologies and all of that, which weren't very exciting. And I took some communication classes, and those classes have helped me every day of my life. Just how to deal with people, how to read people. And from an academic standpoint, his reaching out his hand and being my friend made all the difference during a very tough 4 years. So it's lucky that I met Bill Colburn.
So we were talking about being coached by Bo, and I'm pretty sure Jordan, Mike Martin, Jason, Sean have never had to be coached by Bo, which, of course, we all became Bo's good friends after he got out of coaching. And what was the line? When you were on time, what time did you have to be there?
The time I was on today, about 15 minutes before. So if you weren't 15 minutes early, you were late.
Yeah, and that's Bo for you. And I was telling the story where at one point, Don Lund, one of our great athletes, he was a great baseball player. He was a first-round draft choice of the Chicago Bears. He was working as an administrator, keeping track of everything. And he was not on the bus. He was doing it. It was cold. He was in the football building. Bo literally left him as we were driving out. He had to get a police escort to catch up with the buses that day. So it's a way different thing. We love Bo. It was a great time to be around. And that's one of the great things we've been able to do is work and have fun with those type of coaches. We've got a lot of club presidents with us today, and we're going to get started real quick with Jennifer DeGus of the Chicago Club to ask her question. And then we'll get in, we'll talk a little bit and banter back and forth about football and about things that are going on right now. But Jennifer, why don't you ask your question? See, and go from there.
All right. Hi. My question for everyone is, what is your favorite football and non-football memory from your time at Michigan?
Let's start with Sean. Sean, you want to give that one a start right off the bat?
Yeah, sure. I would say my best football memory was probably scoring my first touchdown. I think it was against Minnesota my sophomore year, and that feeling is just incredible. Can't really beat it. So yeah, that was definitely the best football feeling. Just at school, probably I had a lot of good times at school. But I would say maybe just getting into Ross and kind of doing that, and that took a lot of hard work with Claiborne, Green, and the academic staff there, applying and getting into that. So that was definitely probably my best feeling in school for sure.
Jordan?
I would say finally beating Michigan State in 2016. That was probably because I know everybody talks about Ohio State, and of course we wanted to win that game, but like Michigan State, they were on the rise, and they had been beating us for like 7 years straight, and I was just like, man, we seniors now, like we got to get a win. It just felt like it was like a relief. Like we got that win, we beat them in East Lansing, so that was even sweeter. And my favorite off the field moment was probably graduating. That was probably my mother was so excited. Everybody. I was just elated, man, because it was a long 4 years. It was definitely a long 4 years. It was definitely worth it. And I appreciate everybody that helped me get there, like Claiborne, Green, all my advisors, and my teammates. So it was definitely a huge accomplishment for me.
Ed, what's your thoughts?
Well, two things. One, from a football standpoint, you understand both Schembechler, Bruce, and you were part of most of those, had great teams during the 70s, from the upset loss in 69 all the way to my team in 81, and he'd never won a bowl game. So definitely winning the Rose Bowl, but more importantly, Bubba Paris and I carrying Bo off for his first bowl victory still is today. I could remember it like it's yesterday, and the picture hangs in my office. I have to share Jordan's sentiment. My parents didn't get to go to college. They saved money for me to go, and the day I graduated, they were and I was as proud as winning the Rose Bowl or becoming an All-American. And those two things 40 years later still stick with you. Being a Michigan graduate academically and being a Rose Bowl champ and a part of this alumni association. Two great things that nobody could take away from me, ever.
Well, let's start with you then. What brought you to the University of Michigan? Talk about your recruiting process. What was the reasons that you came?
Well, I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist. My uncle Ray was a pharmacist in Pittsburgh. He was the most successful man I knew. I was good in chemistry, chemistry, biology, and Ohio State, who was recruiting me, Woody Hayes, was kind of at the end of his road. Bruce kind of forgetting things. Notre Dame, my high school coach kept all the recruiting letters because he didn't like Notre Dame and didn't want me to go there. And Michigan got to me early. So they had a pharmacy school. They got to me early. And any of you with significant others or parents out there that go on these recruiting trips, Bo and Jerry Hanlon got my mother and father. They loved Michigan. I fell in love with all of the upperclassmen that I became friends with and still are, with the Leones and the Bill Dufecks and the Rick Leaches. And I had a high school coach, Bruce, that told me, trust your gut. Back then, blink wasn't a word, but trust your blink. You're the one who has to live there. Made a decision when I'm 18 years old. It's one of those, Bruce, that I would make today. Had great friends, had a great opportunity to play early, and part of this great institution forever.
And Jordan, we'll go to you next. I mean, you were coached in high school, by a former Michigan man, a great Michigan man, a good friend of mine, Tom
Yes.
Wiltshire. What got you from, you were close in Detroit, you knew all about us.
Yeah.
What was the reason? You were highly recruited.
I wanted to stay home. I mean, ever since I was in a walker, my mom had me in a Michigan jumpsuit. So, I mean, I've been a diehard Wolverine fan since I can remember. I mean, it was just, the fight song, just the whole pageantry of, Saturdays. I was just like, I wanted to be a part of that, touching the banner. Like I could remember that as a little kid. I mean, it was really no other option. I mean, it was really no other option. That was just my number one. As soon as they offered, I committed. I mean, that was just it, because I wanted. It was just everything I could ask for. I mean, academics, the football prestige, and I could see my family in them. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I wanted to. So it was everything. It only made sense for me.
Sean, what about you? You came from Massachusetts, so I mean, football out east, we don't get many Eastern players here at Michigan.
Yeah, so for me, really Jay Harbaugh, he came and kind of found me in Massachusetts and invited me to a camp in Michigan. And so kind of after that camp, when I went to Michigan and saw the campus and talked to Coach Harbaugh and saw the facilities, I was like, I just instantly fell in love and committed to Coach Harbaugh that day. So, I mean, really just I just loved everything about the school and the football and just the whole campus.
Hey, Sean, we'll stick with you right now. I got you. One of the things it's rather interesting because, Jordan was drafted, Ed, of course, drafted. You came in as an undrafted player, a free agent. The Dallas Cowboys have a habit. In fact, they're one of the best teams to take free agents and move them through their NFL career. What went through your decision to go to Dallas and to play with the Cowboys? Because you had other choices too, right?
Yeah, definitely. So kind of just after the draft, my phone kind of started blowing up with calls from different teams. I think the Giants and the Ravens, Vikings, and Cowboys all called me and my agent, and so really some of it was money and signing bonus and guaranteed money and stuff like that. And the Cowboys offered me the best deal, but they also had a good roster as far as just looking at tight end depth and like you said, they have a history of keeping undrafted guys. So yeah, I kind of like the idea of going to Dallas, and my agent thought it was a good idea, so just kind of decided to make it happen.
Jordan, I'll go to you next. Jordan, when you take a look at your career, and you're close with your mom, tell us about draft day and when you were drafted. What was the family's reaction? What was your reaction?
Everybody was crying. I was just surprised. It's just like, man, because I hadn't talked to the Dallas Cowboys. They didn't call me pre-draft visits, nothing. So I didn't have any communication with the Cowboys. And I mean, it's like it's a saying said, like, if you don't have contact with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's most likely, you're gonna probably get drafted to somewhere where they don't really, show interest. So I got drafted to the Dallas Cowboys. It came out of the blue. My agent didn't even know that, they were interested. And I got drafted, and I was actually at the gas station when I got drafted. So, so I was thinking I was gonna get picked, the day before or whatever, and I got picked in the third round, and I was at the gas station randomly, and I got a call from Jerry Jones at the gas station, and I was just so excited, man. I don't even know if I filled the tank up. I got in the car and I went straight home, and we had a great time, and I was just elated. I mean, coming from a prestigious, institution to another one, it was definitely a blessing.
So before I get to Ed, I got to ask these two questions of you and Sean. Jerry Jones, what do you think of him? Have you met him? Have you talked to him?
Oh yeah, Jerry's he's a good dude. I mean, he's definitely, with all of the the flash and everything like that, he's definitely a flamboyant guy. I mean, but you gotta love him for it. He is who he is, and he's unrelentless in that. And I've been around people like that. Jim Harbaugh, a lot of guys. I don't know if Johnny. Johnny. Yeah, Johnny, just like that. So everybody I've ever been with, man, is just like Jerry. So I mean, it was a great fit.
And Sean, the stadium that you play in, I mean, you played in a place that was built in 1927, and now there's this facility. I mean, when you first saw it, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I mean it's fantastic. It's I mean it's definitely more than we need, and it's kind of similar to Michigan as well with facility upgrades they've done there, the weight room, training room. So I mean just kind of going from one state of the art place to another. So definitely a good place to be.
And Jerry, and you met Jerry Jones, of course. He's talked to probably every one of the players, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I haven't known him that long, but I can just tell he's just one of those guys that'll do anything for his players, whatever they need, um, whether it be in football or in regular life. He's gonna try to help them out with.
Okay, and Ed, since it's been a few years since you've played, and the NFL. When you take a look at college football today and the NFL, what do you see as the big differences in your mind? Because you played in the old days, and now you see. I mean, it's 40 years later. What do you see the differences?
I think two of the biggest differences, Bruce, is kind of how in the mid to late 80s it became kind of a full-time sport. So I'm sure that Jordan and Sean today don't really have a month off. They might take a couple of weeks off to take a vacation at the end of the season, but there's trainers, there's how you eat, there's what you should be doing, there's speed coaches. I think that side is night and day. And the second thing is, if you really look back, the speed of the game, and not surprising, the concussions that cause it with the physics equation. The speed of the game, at least as an offensive lineman, looking at the speed of the Jordans of the world or the linebackers of today, it's just a different world out there. I mean, you take a look at some of the old 1970, 80 blocking schemes where you literally have a 4-yard hole. I mean, those things just don't exist. So I think those two things probably more than anything. I think you're on mute, Bruce.
I got muted by somebody in the background there. I didn't. But I'm gonna real quick. I'll go back through you guys real quick, and then I'm going to turn it over to Jason and Mike. But when you take a look at the type of game that it is today, the type of coaching that you see. I mean, what are the differences in the coaches as you see it? Because now, I mean, you had coaches at Michigan that stayed there forever. Now there's a lot of movement in the business.
Yeah, I would have to say, Bruce, the biggest difference is that while I was there, and I love him, he's up on my mantle over here next to my mother and father. He was a second father to me. But he and the whole Michigan program dealt a lot with negative reinforcement. No matter how much I played or what kind of awards I got, I was always worried on Sunday watching film whether I was going to lose my job or not. And that negative reinforcement, when you talk to the guys from Ohio State, or the Woody and Earl Bruce era and all of that, and compare that to today, it's night and day. The kids today, and I did a little bit of help high school coaching, and obviously Sean and Jordan saw it firsthand. There's a lot more positive reinforcement. There's a lot more having to keep people up. And although at the end of the day, you're still worried, it doesn't work with the kids today the way it worked before. And I see that big change in coaching. Bob Stoops is a good friend of mine, went to high school with me, and he said that was the biggest difference from the day he entered to the day he left, of how you really never met the parents at the end. You met the people who were in charge of them and this and that. And it just, it was a different day and way. And the negative enforcement day of Bo and all the success he had just wouldn't work today.
Jordan, I'm going to go back to you now, because you've now have had 3 coaches, head coaches there, with Harbaugh, of course, and then you had you had 2 coaches now in the NFL, and you have now with McCarthy. The changes in those 3 coaches, I mean, how does that affect a player, and how do you react to that?
I mean, you got to think of it like this. You're a professional. At the end of the day, you got to get his job done. And you got to think like that when you were, in college too. I mean, because I know in college, we were, student athletes, but at the same time, we were playing on the kind of like the professional level. But I mean, that's all you can do is just be a professional and get your job done. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, how they coach it or whatever they coach it. Whatever they're coaching, you got to go out there and perform because that's your job.
Sean, I'll ask you this because you're the last guy to make the move from college to the pros. When you take a look at the coaching, what's the difference between a college coach that you had and a pro coach that you now have? Even if it's a position coach, what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, definitely in college, at least with our staff and Coach Harbaugh and all those coaches, I think those guys really kind of care about their players, and we'll like we had guys over for Thanksgiving and meals all the time and stuff. And not that the NFL coaches don't care about their players, but it's just not as personal. I would say definitely more professional for sure. Because at the end of the day, they're just trying to do their job and make you play good on the field, and you're just trying to do your job as well. So,
well, I want to thank you, Sean. I'm going to thank Jordan, and I'm going to thank Ed. And I'm going to work with Brandstatter and Dierdorf, 2 linemen. And so Ed knows how that is, and that's not always an easy job, believe me, with those 2 guys. But I got to get over there to do that. I want to thank you guys. I'm going to turn it over to Jason Cummings and Mike Martin. Let's go Blue. Let's beat Wisconsin. Have a good evening.
Go Blue, Brucey. Good
Go
seeing
Blue.
All right, thanks, Bruce. Hey, what's up, fellas?
Thanks,
I'm Jason Cummings. You probably gotten some emails from me. I'm the programming chair here at FAM. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take some questions from some of the club leaders, and then I'll ask some questions that came in from fans. So just to kick it off, Brian Levine, if you could unmute yourself and turn your camera on, Brian from the Dallas Club, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, so I'm Brian Levine, the president of the University of Michigan Club of Dallas, and I have my wife Lori here too, the first lady of the Club of Dallas, and our dog Winnie. And we actually have a question that comes from our alumni community. Ted Matson and his son Devin wanted to know, this is specifically for Jordan. We saw that interception against Wisconsin that he hung in the air, but obviously our cornerbacks are struggling a little bit more in confidence. So the question is, as they move forward, what is it about the technique? What do you think we'll see tonight that will make them more successful against Wisconsin and the rest of the schedule?
Honestly, I just feel like they need to play with some more confidence. If you think about it, that's all you have to do. I mean, that's all. Defense is confidence. I mean, if you can go out there with the swagger and just go out there and understand what you're doing and play with confidence, things start swinging your way. And I mean, momentum is real. So I mean, if you get that momentum, anything can happen.
All right, thanks, Jordan. We'll go ahead and go to the next question here. We have Liz. You can dial in. I don't want to butcher your last name, but Liz is from Central Florida, and go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, I'm Liz Severco, the Vice President of the Central Florida Club. Nice to see you all. My question is, so I grew up in Ann Arbor and I just went right down the street to University of Michigan for school. What was all of your favorite thing to do in Ann Arbor that was not football or school related?
Well, I'll go first. Thank God there was not social media back then. And that, we had a good time at South Quad. There was a wonderful place that had dime beer on Monday night called Dooley's, and we helped found, me and a flame, John Arbesnick, helped found a place called Rick's American Cafe. And not that we were alcoholics, but we had a good time, and we worked hard, but we had a great time in the dorms. We had a great time with our teammates and non-teammates in doing everything from outside volleyball to dime beer night to, parties outside. It was just a wonderful thing from people from all over the country and all backgrounds. So it was good times. Thank God there was no social media though.
Yeah. All right, Sean, you want to go next?
Yeah, for sure. I would probably say, definitely. I lived in South Quad too, and West Quad, so living in the dorms was a blast. And just I loved all the restaurants in Ann Arbor. There's so many good ones. Blue Tractor and Spots right down there. Went there plenty of times. I like to play golf in the summer when we're working out. So the university golf course is beautiful. And yeah, I mean, definitely been to a few frat parties and Rick's American Cafe a few times. So that's about it.
I guess I'll go. Probably mine is still sports. I used to go to the IM building and play basketball all the time. You got your card on you, man. We can go out there and play. And probably the restaurants. Spots.
You breaking up just a little bit, Jordan. You breaking up a little bit. I don't know if you're in the elevator.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us? Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead, man.
Here you go.
It's like hey, Jordan, it's locking up a little bit. So when you get to another area, just we'll come back to that question. And but hold on to it because it sounded like a great story, and everybody wants to know if you could dunk or not. So we'll come back to that story. Let's go to Josh. Josh, why don't you unmute yourself?
Okay.
And go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Josh Bostrick, president of the Charlotte, North Carolina Area Alumni Club. Thank you for doing this, and go blue. Tell us a little bit about your experience with camaraderie within the NFL, specifically with former Wolverines, Chase Winovich, anybody who's out there now, as you look forward to catching up with them before a game, after a game on the field, as you play the different teams throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just joining the Dallas locker room. I feel like I'm already a part of their family for sure. The guys are great dudes, and especially in a tight end room, just having a kind of a small room like that, you get to become pretty good friends with them. And it's definitely cool seeing guys you played with at Michigan on different teams now. It's pretty weird. So I saw Zach Gentry last week against the Steelers, and I saw Khaleke Hudson on the Washington football team. And so it's just good seeing dudes like that, and in the NFL also, doing their thing and being successful.
But I would think most of it comes because when you fly into these cities or they fly in to see you, most of your time is taken up with meetings and obviously get ready to play. So you really have time to catch up pre-game and post-game, and golf tournaments and fun during the off season, more than flying to cities and seeing other people.
Thanks. So Jordan, I know it seems like you're back inside now. You're telling us about the IM building. I've heard some legendary battles from my teammates. So you can go ahead and finish your story about how it went down in the IM building with basketball.
We'd find any basketball player on the team. If it didn't matter if you was on the bench or you were a starter, we was trying to go at you. We thought we were the best guys on the court at all times in the IM building. So we tried our hardest. I mean, you would have thought we never even had a football scholarship the way we played out there. I mean, it was competitive. I mean, it was fun. I mean, the camaraderie we made off the field, it was just amazing. I mean, we got some great moments in there.
Thanks, Jordan. I'll stay with you for a sec. So one of the follow-up questions was just about the camaraderie in the NFL, like with former Michigan players in the NFL, and just how that brotherhood is, if you think about Michigan and your brothers at Michigan and the NFL. Have you been able to keep in touch with people while you've been in the league?
Of course. We always keep in touch with everybody that, that I've played with, or if I've known, through, just going back to school and seeing some of the guys. I mean, like our schedule was so crazy. I've seen a Michigan guy every time we played. It was 1 or 2 guys every time we played. So I mean, it's definitely a blessing to see all those guys in the NFL and doing well, making an active roster and going out there and playing. So I mean, it's definitely a good look for the university, and I'm just so proud to be a part of something so special.
Thanks, George. Now it looks like we got somebody in. We brought him into the panel, George Lilja. George, can you hear us? If you can hear us, George, unmute yourself and turn on your camera. You know, if you got something you may want to say to Ed, if you can hear us, George.
Hello.
Here's the center on the Rose Bowl team.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I had the mute on. This is George Lilja. Good to see you, Ed.
Hey, George, how are you?
Good, good. Bruce and guys. So I'm sorry, I missed the question.
No, George, we're bringing you in because you and Ed were teammates. Is there a memory that you have with Ed, you know, whether it's the Rose Bowl or otherwise that you care to share just about your playing days with Ed? Any story that comes to mind?
Well, as Ed will remember, we had a great offensive line across the board, and being able to block for guys like Butch Woolfolk and the crew, Larry Ricks, and so on and so forth. Johnny Wangler's our quarterback, and I think Ed already said a favorite memory for all of us was going out to that Rose Bowl and getting Bo Schembechler's first Rose Bowl win out there against a great team. And then, of course, probably one of the most exciting, and Ed will remember this, the exciting plays in Michigan history, the Johnny Wangler to Anthony Carter pass against Indiana and Lee Corso was a great memory at our homecoming game after they tied the game to end the game, and we had to come from behind in a matter of seconds and march down the field. So that'll always be a favorite memory. But going out and jumping up and hitting the Go Blue banner in front of 100,000 fans will always be one of the best memories, I think, for Ed and I. But I was proud to be on a line with Ed, and
likewise, George.
Yeah, and have the games we had and the memories we had that will last a lifetime. But I had
George, and you have to tell Jordan as well. Jordan being from Michigan, although I'm from Ohio, and there's a huge rivalry with Ohio State. We used to date the girls from Michigan State. We had summer jobs with the guys from Michigan State.
Yes.
That was a hell of a rivalry, man. Right, George?
Yes, an in-state rivalry that I didn't understand until I got to Michigan. I came from Chicago, and a lot of my teammates, that in-state rivalry, they would have gone to school with, and like you said, Ed, dated other Michigan State students and stuff like that. And it was, I think a ref once said that I was talking to, a Big Ten ref said, he goes, I could tell the difference between an Ohio State Michigan game and a Michigan State Michigan game, because Ohio State, after the first play, the players pretty much settled down and got into the flow of the game. But he goes, from the first snap to the last snap with Michigan State, it was a fist fight the whole game.
Yeah.
Because they literally did not like each other, and a lot of great memories. But
great to see you. We're going to have our Rose Bowl victory reunion next year.
Yes, yes.
It's not going to keep us down, but great.
COVID kept us from the Rose Bowl victory reunion this year, Ed. So we're looking forward to it next year. And Johnny Wangler is going to make us all this nice paraphernalia and shirts and stuff like that. So it'll be a good.
I got the bourbon and the cigars, the important stuff.
There you go.
Go Blue, brother.
You know what's funny, Ed,
Blue,
right, when they were asking questions of your favorite time on campus, I turned to my friend Jeremy Abraham and I said, he's going to mention Dooley's. And sure enough. So, hey, thank you guys for doing this. I jump in every week. It gets me fired up for the game. As an alumni, it's great for my amazing Blue heart. Love all you guys from Michigan. Good, go Blue, and let's get a victory over the Badgers tonight.
Love the color of your walls there, George. It looks like a nice color of maize. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm at a friend's house in Cleveland, actually. watching the game. Michigan alumni, ran track at Michigan, so
There you go.
I came. So the Abraham family has taken me in many a time.
Wonderful. Go Blue.
Go Blue.
All right, thanks, George. Appreciate it. So let's go to Leslie. Leslie, you can unmute yourself and turn your camera on and ask a question to the panel.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm the president of the Alumni Club of Greater Cleveland, and George, hope you're enjoying your time here in our lovely town. Most of my questions have actually already been asked by everybody, so I'm going to ask the game day panel question. And what do you all think the final score will be of tonight's game? A prediction question. Anyone want to take that one?
I mean, that question, you know, when I'm thinking about it, I know what all the guys are thinking. One, you know, we can tell you what score we hope it's going to be. It's, you know, going to be a Michigan victory. But
oh God, I hope so too. I'm rooting for him every week.
Yeah, well, we're all rooting for him. You know, does anybody, you know, let's change the question a little bit. You know, Ed or, you know, Jordan, Sean, do you think there are any keys, you know, to secure that victory today, or any focus areas? You know, we've all been in that situation, but, you know, any positive words you want to put out there, you know, for the team or things they can do? Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like if Joe and the receivers can connect, they have some explosive guys out there. If they can get that done, I mean, it's going to be a long night for those Badgers. I feel like Joe can get it done, man. I mean, I really do. Ronnie Bell, all those guys on the outside, if they can get them going, I mean, it's gonna be a really good game. I feel like that's definitely the key. We can stop the run, because, you know, the Badgers are always been, you know, or predominantly, you know, run offense. So if we can stop that, I mean, we got some good chances.
Our talent is there, Jordan. The talent is there. They just have to start playing like a team. Like you said, they gotta get confidence. Football's still a team sport. And you know, I hope we find it this year. It's not there yet. You know, you take a look, and we all felt comfortable with the win over Minnesota. Minnesota lost to Iowa 35-7. You know, Minnesota is not a very good team. And but you take a look, the talent's there. I don't think, you know, from coaching to the players, the confidence is there yet. So if the confidence comes, there's going to be a victory tonight. If confidence doesn't come and they start and continue pointing fingers, it's going to be a long year.
Thanks, Sean. You want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, to me, I think they just got to run the ball well. You know, not have to rely only throwing the ball third and long, and then really just kind of like Jordan said, just stop the run, and then they'll let them throw go balls, and I think we'll be fine.
Hey, Sean, it's interesting you being with Dallas, but it's not a magical potion. I mean, Dak Prescott and your offense and you are a better offensive team when you can run the ball. When you have an offensive line that can get you 3-4 yards, Jordan, it's a different. 2nd and 3 is different than 2nd and 10. 3rd and 10 is different than 3rd and 2. And we got ourselves this year into so many long yarded situations that it's tough to convert that.
Yeah, no, thanks, guys. And you know, didn't mean to, you know, put anyone on the spot. We all felt that question a little bit, but here's a fun one for you, Sean. And this question is from Thomas Toma. He's 8 years old, and this is going to be a rough one for you right here. Sean, what would you be more excited for, mossing someone or catching a one-handed pass? This is from Thomas Toma, 8 years old, and it was asked by Michelle. So you think about that one, and let me know what your answer is.
Thanks for your question, Thomas. I would say probably just mossing someone, just going up over someone and grabbing it for a touchdown. That's probably like the best feeling out there, in my opinion. But yeah, thanks for asking.
So Jordan, let's you know, I mean, you play DB, so, you know, mossing is the term, but as a DB, you know, what's that same feeling, you know, with that a play you make, like what is it for you? Banging somebody, interception, like what is it?
Probably an interception, tight coverage interception. I mean, it's demoralizing. I mean, when you understand, like, if you can be in the position, I mean, that's number one. I mean, if you can stop the pass, that's great. But if you can get a pick off that, I mean, it just changed the momentum. And I feel like that's the number one thing. And getting interceptions, making those plays, that can turn the fortunes in your hands.
No, thanks, man. So Ed, O-line, I think I know the answer to this, but when you turn back the clock and think about, the things that really get you pumped on the field, the type of plays, that you make, what is it for an offensive lineman that really gets you going?
That the defensive lineman knows where it's going, and you know where it's going, and there's nothing he can do about it. And, times are a little bit different, but, back then it was the Deerdorf pancake block where you got somebody on their back. But during some of those games, there was nothing that could stop us. And that's the swagger our offensive line has to get back.
Right. That reminds me of the first play, one of the first plays in the first series of our game. And I believe it was our fullback, and he blocked someone into the sideline, and I was really excited about that energy, as I'm sure you guys were. But, like you said, the game is a little bit different. But I do remember the times you're talking about when you go to the whistle maybe a little bit beyond. But, that's a great answer. So I did have a question for you guys. This is from Douglas Yee. And this kind of deals with, Ed, I know you're dealing with it in your profession, and I'm sure, everyone is on the panel. But this question from Douglas Yee is, how do you think that Wisconsin's canceled games will affect their preparation for the Wolverines, if at all? And, I'll let each one of you address that.
I think so much of it's the leadership. I mean, it's no different. The Cowboys are on a bye week this week. How does their coach, how do their position coach, how do they approach that mentally, having time off when you are not as focused as you are in a normal game week regimen? From that, everybody's dealing with elements of it. It's a crazy year for everybody, but I am sure they stayed in shape. I am sure via Zoom they stayed, in meetings and things together. But it's a team game, so timing and things like that, could be a little bit off. But a lot of it comes down to coaching and preparation. So it's especially when you have a quarterback that's he threw 5 touchdown passes. It's kind of the opposite of a normal Wisconsin team. Might have a little bit more effect than a normal Wisconsin team. A normal Wisconsin team coming in here that wants to rush the ball and get 300 yards is a little bit different than the timing of a throwing quarterback like we're going to see tonight.
Thanks, Jordan or Sean. Do you guys want to weigh in on that? I know you're going through, you've got COVID protocols probably now as professional players, and you have any thoughts on how it may affect preparation if you've got a few games canceled?
It's probably it's really about timing. It's really about timing and rhythm, and as said before, it's all about getting together and understanding what we're doing as a team and preparing. So if you got those 2 weeks off that you were thought you were preparing for an opponent that you're not, it kind of throws you off. And it definitely does. You got to re-prepare and you got to re-lock in mentally. So it does, it has a little shift in your mentality that you have to go out there and try to perform at your best. But it's definitely hard.
All right. Sean, you got anything you want to add, or has it all been said?
Yeah, no, they pretty much covered it, but I would just say you just got to stay locked in, watching film, and kind of working out, and just still trying to stay focused. And then, there are times where you do have to get away for a little bit, but then just being able to re-lock in when you got to come back to work.
All right. So this story here, and I'll lead in with this. So, with my team, we went to a bowl game, we went to a Rose Bowl, like you had, and there was Lori's Steakhouse. And at Lori's, I'll never forget when we went in there and we got to eat, as many steaks as we wanted. And there was a freshman that year. His name was Paul Tanute. And I remember Paul, he was the O-line, and he ate the most steaks, and he broke this record. and he got in trouble for it. But I'll never forget how he was throwing down these steaks at Lori's. And there's a rumor out there, Ed, and a question came up. I believe her name is Elaine. But can you tell us about the Beef Bowl? Can you tell us the story about the Beef Bowl? Is there any validity to that story and what happened?
So there is. Bubba Paris and I, our freshman year, snuck into the corner of Lowry's Steakhouse. He had 7 and I had 8 Diamond Jim Brady cuts. That's 16 pounds for me. The Frank family recognized me, the 50 years of them being in the Rose Bowl. Bubba and I went out that night, had a pizza, had other things. Bo Schembechler took care of us in the morning, but we were freshmen. Junior year coming over, we're somewhere over Iowa, leaving Detroit Metro, and Bo comes and sits right in between the two of us, and he said, we're going to your favorite place tomorrow. He said, you 2 fat asses are sitting right at my table. You're allowed to have 2. So it's a lot of fun. The record is still intact, and it's prime rib. I still could eat a lot of it if I had to, and it was, well, we didn't even know what the hell was going on back then. You look at it, Bubba and I were 18, 19 years old, having the time of our life, and that is a true story.
All right. Thanks, Ed. Now for Jordan and Sean, and Ed, you're very accomplished businessmen. You got businesses even in Ann Arbor, and you do quite a lot on the business front. And, for Jordan and Sean, I know you guys are kind of, early in your NFL career, but, a question came from Erica Cox, and they want to know what pursuits professionally or personally are you most looking forward to, in your post-football career? Are you guys have any interest? Are you planting any seeds right now, for your post-career?
I actually wanted to start, a nonprofit organization for student athletes, such as myself. So I want to go in there. It's something like a Boys and Girls Club, just giving them anything they need. And I actually want to be the AD of Cass Tech, probably. I don't know, if that ever come true, but I definitely that's definitely a dream of mine. Just being able to to be around the students and impact them in any way. I mean, that's something that I always enjoyed and I always had a passion for.
Yeah, I would say I haven't really planned anything out yet, but just looking. I graduated from Ross, so just looking kind of in the marketing area of that, and so definitely networking and just trying to set something up for later in my career.
That's great, and this is a great time to let everyone know that Sam has an annual mentorship program, and we work with the athletic department and the current students, and I think that was in place when you guys were there, Sean and Jordan. So we're always looking for mentors, and it's something in it for everyone. So keep us in mind during the off season, if you want to get involved, and that's why we're here, to unite like this, but also to keep us connected to the university. So I'll go to another question, and then after this question, we're going to play, an announcement regarding our teammate assistance program after this question. But this question here is from Elaine Waldeman, and this question is, what was the most motivational pregame or halftime speech you guys can ever remember? And whoever wants to go first can take that.
I would say just being in the locker room pregame and hearing, I'm sure Jordan heard this a lot, hearing Don Brown talk to the defense before a game. Even though he wasn't talking to like any of the offensive guys, I would go over and listen. And he always did a great job, and he's pretty motivational.
Don B. I mean, with that pinky out, man, it was something to see, man. It was something to see. It was actually documented. I forget what was that Amazon series called? They showed him in Dallas at giving him a halftime speech. I was there. I was right in the locker room, man. I got chills, like I was playing. But it was, I mean, every time that we had a big game and we needed something, we needed that spark, Don to come and he'd give us that talking to, and it definitely be, something that we always needed. And you want to run through a wall for him. You want to go out there and perform at your highest level for him, and go out there and show him that you a dude. Honestly,
We had Bo
great, Ed.
Schembechler as our head coach, so it was every speech was a motivational speech, and sometimes it's more how he looked than what he said. But I was lucky enough to be in the locker room for one of the team speeches. And I still, to today, when I hear Bo say the word Michigan like no one else can, and you hear the content of the team, it's the makeup of every successful byproduct, whether you're in business or football or cross country or whatever you're in. There's nothing more important than the team. And God Almighty, I could see him doing it like it was happening last night.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. We're getting to the point, and we're going to start wrapping things up. So before we go, we're going to do two things. First of all, we're going to just play a short announcement for the Teammate Assistance Program. So, Stephen, if you got that queued up, and then we'll come back for some final remarks.
Hi, this is Craig Dunaway, proud member of Teams 100 through 103. I'm here today to talk to you about the Teammates Assistance Program, or TAP for short. TAP was founded by the Football Alumni of Michigan in 2018 to confidentially help members of the Michigan football family in need of support. The TAP network provides a conduit to medical, financial, and psychological assistance to teammates with limited options. Confidentiality is an essential part of TAP. As football players, we're proud. Asking for help isn't something we're inclined to do. If you need help, or if you know a fam member who needs help and isn't getting it, please let us know. To do so, visit tap.michiganfootballalumni.org and click the appropriate button. Someone will be in touch very soon. Please also consider joining the TAP network. The network is open to everyone, not just former players, and it's designed to help in many ways. You don't have to be a doctor or lawyer. That's great if you are, but we can use all sorts of people. Someone to pick up groceries, provide ground transportation, perform wellness checks. If you're willing to help a guy who needs it, please join the TAP network at tap.michiganfootballalumni.org. And finally, you can make a fully tax-deductible donation to TAP. Your financial support will help us take care of more of our guys. 100% of your donation will go to helping teammates in need. To donate, visit tap.michiganfootballalumni.org. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. So I'll just, on behalf of FAM, I want to thank, Ed, Sean, and Jordan for hopping on. This really means a lot, not only to, FAM, but it also means a lot to our alumni. And we're looking forward to, with each of you, to deepening our relationship with you all and partnering on some initiatives that, are important to you guys. So we'll continue to be in touch. Ed, I still need that, contact information. But if there's anything else you guys, you guys have some parting thoughts, about your experience today, or if anything you want to say to the fans, I'll give you guys an opportunity. And then after that, we're going to close out to Michigan alumni James Earl Jones. But I'll give you guys an opportunity if you got any, final things you'd like to say, either to teammates or to alumni or fans.
I'm sorry. You can go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm just appreciative. I just love that, you guys opened you opened us with, open arms and just let us come in here and, share our experiences. And, you gave a lending hand and saying that, any endeavors that we ever, we come up with, that you guys are, fully embracing that and you guys are supporting it. So, I mean, it means the most. I mean, it means so much to me. And I as a Michigan alum, I'm excited to see, where we can go with this. And I'm excited to see, where I can fit in and help and be a part of, the club. So I'm just happy to be, Michigan Wolverine.
All All right, Sean and Ed, you can close it out, but Sean, you want to share your thoughts?
Yeah, just thanks so much for having me on, and really appreciate all the alumni. And Michigan definitely has the best alumni in the world, and just really appreciate it, and looking forward to working with you guys in the future. And anything you need, and I hope I can come to you guys with anything I need, and just really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean. Ed?
Thanks for putting all of this together. Thanks for all the alumni for all of your help and interest. I second Jordan and Sean. And we've been so serious tonight. We got a game tonight. Let's go. Let's get it on with Wisconsin.
That's right.
Right? We all got the TVs rolling. Let's go and let's go blue. Let's get this thing rolling again.
Yeah, hi.
Right?
Yeah, hi.
Let's go blue.
Yep.
Let's go blue. All right, guys. Thanks for everything.
Oh, no problem.
This is the University of Michigan.
What a football game we're going to have here this afternoon.
You are looking live at a sold-out
103,000.
Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor.
And the football game from Ann Arbor.
The nation will rock with the praises of the maize and blue this evening.
Where we respect integrity and honor excellence.
The jubilation and cheering long into the night.
Here come the Wolverines.
We are loyal Wolverines.
Today, your football team is #1 in the country, and it's all right here.
Standing for Midwestern values, hard work, determination, and an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
The old season is over. It's going to be Michigan again.
We are the best university in the world. Students and athletes and professors achieving at the highest level.
You better believe it.
This is our legacy and our future. We are proud members of the Big Ten Conference in pursuit of national championships.
We'll win this championship.
We have won more games than any team in the country. No one has won more. We believe in football.
We did it.
Championship football.
He has on the celebrate.
McClellan up in the air. Touchdown! Touchdown, Billy Taylor! Shoelaces flopping in the wind.
We shy away from no challenge or opponent.
Brady.
We bow to no man. We bow to no program. We are Michigan.